Let's talk about things I am no longer buying to live a healthier life. I wanted to create this video because number one, to help you save money, but more importantly, to help you save time. Because the six things I'm going to share didn't actually help me become healthier in any shape or form. The opposite was a waste of money and huge waste of time. And I think, we've all been there. We put a lot of time and energy into trying to figure out how to improve ourselves. But overconsumption may not be the answer, but something completely else. And by the end of this video, you will find out what that is. Okie dokie, I have my little list here, so let's start. Number one, powders, any kind, whether it's green powders, collagen, protein powders. I spend so much money on these things because I hope they would give me healthier skin or make me look less bloated, especially around PMS time, or help me stay in shape even. I would use them as meal replacements or in hopes to stay full for longer, especially protein powder. But it actually didn't do anything because I haven't worked on something else, which we will talk about in a minute, which is the most important and baseline for those powders to even work supportive. I'm not against any of those powders, but today I must honestly say I don't use any powders anymore. My greens or protein come from the food I'm eating. That is enough for me. And my skin health, for instance, comes from hormonal balance. And I'm talking about this in a minute as well. But yeah, I found other ways to actually care for the things I thought those powders will help me with. Number two, and I bet you can relate to this so much. We've all been there. Supplements, I don't even need. I spend so much money and I used to take so many supplements and I didn't even really know why. The thing was, I was super influenced. When you go on Pinterest and type in healthy life, you always see people having their tea in the morning, their green juice and supplements. So I used to swallow them without actually knowing what I was taking and why I was taking it. It wasn't changing anything because I was inconsistent. And as I said, I didn't really know why I was taking what. I am by no means against supplements. I still take supplements today, but today I understand why. So this is me saying know exactly why you take them, and then they can actually be super supportive. I take magnesium, for instance, for about a year now. I don't have any period cramps anymore, literally nothing. And I take zinc for my skin, but that's due to my personal hormonal profile. Zinc helps for me. You may have a completely different one and you need something else. So supplements aren't bad, but if you just take them and hope for the best, they're just a waste of money and waste of time because you're not going anywhere. Number three, anti-bloat treatments. Anything like lymphatic massages, like lymphatic drainage massage, or those cold rooms. I think cryo it's called. I don't remember. I'll look it up and I'll put it in here. Infrared saunas, all these things, especially now, I think with the whole skinny talk, this is more and more popular again. I used to do that probably 10 years ago, 8 years ago. And the main reason why I would buy into these things, and we're speaking of hundreds of dollars, right, per treatment, was to lower water retention. That was my main concern. Each month I would retain so much water during PMS. The main reason why I would retain so much water was because of chaotic eating, because I wasn't working on something else very important we will talk about. And that wasn't fixed by a one-time treatment. Those massages or the sauna may have helped me for half a day or something, but then the water was back. Number four, this becomes, because honestly, because of all the skinny talk, I think this becomes more and more popular again. And I see so many advertisements on Instagram, on Pinterest, and people think this is the answer, and I thought this was the answer for so long. And those are detoxes and cleanses, whether that's specific meal plans like food detoxes, or especially those juice cleanses where you drink just juice for several amount of time. I bought into the marketing. I remember I once bought a juice cleanse for £100 or something, and 20 juices or whatever that was arrived, and I put them into my freezer. And whilst they were sitting in my freezer, I was ordering junk food on delivery apps, and they were just sitting there for days and days. And I was always promising myself, yeah, tomorrow you start the juice cleanse, tomorrow you start the juice cleanse. I didn't, and eventually I throw them away because I was super motivated when I bought them, and didn't actually follow through with them because I bought them for a different reason and not for actual health reasons. You know, I love juices, I love green juices and all that, but I have one today whenever I feel like it and not when I think they can fix anything. The next one, number 5, I was super influenced again by Instagram, by all those models, and those were superfoods or food swaps. And I have a little list. Goji berries, like gluten-free stuff, coconut water, that was big. You know, like specific brands or specific superfoods that promised you to be healthier, to feel healthier. And as I said, I was fully influenced because I hoped if I just copied and consumed those products, they would somehow make me look better and feel healthier. But I didn't really enjoy the taste. I don't like goji berries. So that was like a complete waste of money. You know, they would sit in my cupboard. Sometimes I would like force myself to eat them, but I really wouldn't really enjoy it. And today I still eat those so-called superfoods, like chia seeds, for instance. But number 1, I truly enjoy that. And number 2, I ask myself, why do you actually want to consume that? What's the reason behind? And today the answer is because I want to do my body something good and not I'm trying to create an identity I'm not living yet. The healthy me, you know, that girl. That's what I did in the past. And that one, I personally didn't really spend a lot of money on, but with the people I work with, the women that come to me, they've wasted thousands on these things. So this is why I thought I included. So maybe you see yourself in that, you know, and yeah, you can save money and time in the future. And those are diet programs, personal trainers, dietitians, diet recipe books, any of the kind. And the thing is, these things are not wrong. I'm not here and saying personal trainers are bad. However, the people who come to me had a different problem. They wanted guidance and went to the wrong person. So the women I work with, the women I help feel safe in their body and trust their hunger and fullness cues again so they can feel normal around food, first went to a personal trainer. First went to a dietitian, bought a recipe book, a vegan recipe book, or any of those kinds, and it didn't help them. You know, that's why eventually they came to me, because that wasn't their actual problem. So again, this is not me saying these things are wrong, but before you invest thousands of dollars or even hundreds of dollars, you know, or any kind of money in these things, find out what the actual problem is. Why do you want to, or what do you actually need to improve? Is it your diet, or is it something like wanting to feel safe in your body again? And that is the whole thing of this entire video. Why I said in the beginning that I want to help you save money, but especially time. Because what I was trying for all those years with all those products was I was trying to gain control. I craved control because I felt out of control around food. So I wasn't buying goji berries because I genuinely enjoyed the taste, but because the people I admired on the internet would eat them, and I thought I could create control and just be like them by consuming what they're consuming. You know, I tried to create control by structure or by any of those products I just mentioned and the powders and everything. I was trying to mask inner chaos, you know, with healthy solutions. And by that, I've wasted time, I've wasted money. The powder couldn't actually resolve that inner chaos. I wasn't buying health back then, I was buying the illusion of control. And I hope this video gives you some reflection, you know, like I don't want to make it too deep, you know, for some of you think, this is way too deep, but for some it might be an eye-opener. And all these things I just mentioned can be super add-ons. They can be wellness products that actually support your health, but not when you're trying to fix the wrong problem through it. That being said, I hope this video was helpful. I see you over here because that will help you further. And I wish you a wonderful day wherever you are. God bless. Bye.